Okay, we are recording. Welcome everybody to our Thursday training. I am excited to see everybody and excited for our topic today of time management and balancing work and family. But first, if there's anybody who has something on their mind that they wanted to share, a non-rank victory, something for a coach success that they just want to take 10 seconds to share. Does anybody have something?
Well, I will share. For the very first time, one of my clients has said that how much weight they've lost on Facebook. None of them have been willing. So this is pretty exciting.
That is exciting. That's awesome. Did you make sure to comment and
I did.
People that are commenting. That's so fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
That is exciting. I like it when clients are excited and willing to share about it and be open. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anyone else have a quick one? I have one that's kind of fun. It's just that my husband is being more helpful.
That's always good.
Right? Allows me to do more coaching. I kind of talked to him about my goals, and so he's been a little bit more helpful at home, a little bit, but he's been really helpful at sending referrals my way. So for coaches, potential coaches, and clients. So I'm excited. I'm like, good. He's talking to people at work about it now. He's kind of doing that whole thing to help me out. So it's fun when your husband helps out.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, let's go ahead. Hi, Cheryl. Everybody, it's so fun to see your faces. I just love that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started on our training today because it's a good one. And everything that I'm going to be sharing with you are things that I learned from two different classes, two different workshops I went to at Go Global. And they were about those exact topics. And I think a lot of it kind of overlaps, like balancing home and work, and also time management. Like it kind of overlaps. So it can easily be put into one topic or lesson. So anyway, I'm going to start sharing my screen here because I put together a little PowerPoint. I'm not like tech savvy at all, so this is like my first time. Oops, now I gotta find where I'm at. Where is my, sorry. Where's my thing? There it is. Oh, I have to go down. See, I'm awful. Oh no, it's not letting me sign in now. Okay, I'm not prepared. I'm sorry guys, I was prepared, but I don't know what's happening with that. So anyway, I had a nice PowerPoint all together, and now I'll just have to think about it. Maybe I'll stop share.
Hey, Alina, while you're getting that up, why don't we have everyone share kind of what works for them for staying organized? You want to do that while you're trying to get your PowerPoint up?
Yeah, that sounds good. So people can kind of share something that helps them with, or something that they've found that's helped with time management.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll give you a minute to figure out your PowerPoint. Because I'd love to hear. I love hearing from other people.
Yeah.
I'll share something.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I'm driving, so I'm at a red light, so I'll share while I'm kind of stopped. So one thing that I did since Go Global is download the app Wunderlist, and that's been awesome. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Wunderlist has been awesome because it's just a daily checklist that you can do. So I've categorized it, and one thing that we talk about, and I'm sure you'll talk about it too, Alina, is like doing a brain dump and being able to get rid of that clutter in your mind and put it down on paper, so then it becomes a to-do list rather than just clutter in your brain. And that's helped me a ton to be able to get more stuff done every day.
Love that. One thing that I've started to do better at is using Google Calendar to block off, like when my kids have games, it makes it so I can say yes easier. If I already know that I have blocked off the important things for my family, then I know, like, if I have openings, then I love to fill that. So it doesn't feel like that I'm trying to juggle too many things. So at the beginning of the week, I kind of block off everything that I already have scheduled, and then open up the rest of the time, trying to stay on a schedule instead of always feeling like you have to be available. I know Cheryl has some. She's very organized.
She had helped me recently.
I can share. Sorry, it's a little noisy in the background at my house, but what I do is I make a list at the beginning of each week, and I just kind of, write. I have different categories that I fill in, like client acquisition, client support, coach support, acquisition, and then my own like personal development and training. And anyway, so I make a list, kind of like, I'm a really like left brain organized like person. I have to like have it structured for me. So anyway, 1 second, I'm gonna just step outside, but I like having it structured for me like that. And anyway, so I have that all kind of late week, appointments and things that I've scheduled already. And then basically I break it down into days, like with much smaller to-do lists, and split it up, like what am I going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's not as overwhelming. It's just a little bit each day, and I just plug away at that. And I love being able to check something off. And in my mind each day, I kind of think, what do I need to get done? Like, oh, this can be done in the morning at the time that I have in my head, but I know I'll be at time at my house. This can be done in the evening once my husband. So I kind of have an idea of like when I can get it done, and just through practice, I kind of know what's too much for one day, and I know, when I can add a little bit more, and things get added to it when I, have things like interested calls get planned or whatever. So I kind of add to it as I go along throughout the week. But that's been really helpful to keep things. So I know that I have action steps every single day that I'm checking off, and I can kind of keep track of what I'm doing and not forget. Kind of like what I don't remember her name. The other girl was saying, so I don't have that clutter in my head.
Oh, Cami.
But I know that I have it written down and not get it. Cami, okay. Anyway, and so that's just what's been how much going on in my brain. It still feels a little crazy most of the time, but that at least I know I'm getting stuff done and I'm moving my business forward.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And that's great, because those are like, I'm going to be covering a lot of things, but like I hadn't, added all of those things in. So it's great to get ideas from everybody. And so here's kind of some things I'm not very good at PowerPoint, obviously. So I'm just doing it this way, even though it's kind of like, anyway, hopefully it works out. Okay. So, we learned about structuring our life. So, thinking about structuring your life. Are you scheduling your life and then planning things? Or are you planning your life and then scheduling things? For me, when I thought about this, I thought, oh, wow, I am just kind of putting things in the schedule. Oh, yeah, this kid has that kid has this. And, oh, an interested call, will just randomly, plug that in. And it was, my life was kind of scheduled out so much that then when people would ask me, well, what are your goals? What do you want? What do you want things to look like? I didn't know, because I'm like, I don't know. Whenever there's time to fit something in, maybe it'll happen. But but it wasn't really prioritizing. It was just really schedule heavy without prioritizing and planning, putting that into place ahead of, first. So that's what I want to, one thing I want to talk about first is finding out what matters most to you and blocking that first. We had talked a little bit about time blocking, and I'll talk about that a little bit later too. By the way, if you don't have anything to take notes, you probably should. So if you need to run and grab a pencil or paper, then that would be awesome, because there's a lot of good things. So yeah, what matters most to you? So our structural tension chart helps with that. I love that we have a tool that helps us to be able to figure out what we want. So with our business, we do that using our map, right? It's a kind of a structural tension chart for our business. For our life, we can do that for setting goals. But we really want to set the tone of what we're doing with the end in mind, with the goal like of what we're creating in our life. So there was one thing where, or a visual that Becca Tinter did, where she had, and I'm sure you guys know about it, there's a jar, and you put in a bunch of sand first, and then you put in some little pebbles, and then there's some big rocks, and you don't have room for the big rocks. She was saying that the rocks represent what is most important to us, and so we need to make sure we're filling the jar with those rocks first, and then the pebbles on top, and then the sand can sift through the openings. But in order of like most important to least important, what's important in our lives, we need to figure that out so we know what to plan first. And that's how you plan your life, and then schedule things around your plans that you've got. And so, yeah, thinking about what I want to create. So thinking about how much is enough time. Have any of you ever said, I don't have enough time to be with my kids. I don't have enough time for my business. I don't have enough time to plan for my church calling. I don't have enough time for whatever. So time is like money. It's something that we need to learn the skill of managing it. And we need to figure out how much time would feel like enough time for me to spend quality time with my kids. How much time would be enough time for me to feel like I'm spending enough time on my business? So that's kind of a personal question that you can ask yourself in this time of your life, with the goals and priorities that you have and what matters most. How much time would it be for you to feel like you're not running out of time for everything, like that you don't have enough time? So even figuring that out, how many hours a week do I feel like I need to spend on my business to where I'll feel good about I'm spending enough time on my business? How many hours a week do I want to spend time with my children to feel like I have enough time with my children? And again, with service, church callings, with personal time, rejuvenation time, also, personal development, and with things you may be learning, or that kind of thing. So those can be some of the rocks that you might have. So if you're focusing on that first, then scheduling around that, but making sure you're spending enough time on those important things in the week, then that's how you're going to be structuring your life better with more balance. So one of the things that I learned also was the importance of having a morning routine and an evening routine, like a start of day routine and an end of day routine. And like one of my personal goals is I have like a morning routine. Like sometimes people say, well, I like to exercise first in the morning and then feel like I can start my day. I've got energy and I've got that accomplished. Some people are like, you know what? I need to make my bed and like make sure that my, house is like picked up, because that will give me, more motivation and not stress me out so I can be more productive, Some people say, well, I like to shower because if I'm showered and dressed, I feel more productive throughout the day. That's me. When I don't do that, then I don't feel as productive throughout the day. But anyway, so there's some different things there where you can think about what's your morning routine that you want to do. Plus adding in like kind of checking in with what you want to do that day, and an evening routine to reflect back on what you did and what you want to do the next day are good things. And for me, I kind of like to have a morning routine where I'm not first thing in the morning checking my phone. I'm not first thing in the morning getting sucked into Facebook. So I have set a rule for myself. I cannot go on Facebook or emails or, text messages or checking any of that stuff until after I've done my morning routine. Now, one thing you have to remember is to be flexible. Like my morning routine consists of scriptures, meditation, breakfast, exercise, and showering. Do I get all of those things in? Breakfast I always do, and water. And then usually out of the other things, there are some days that I don't do all of those for my morning routine, but I felt like I've done enough of them by the time it's time to start getting kids ready for school and move on to the rest of my day. And that's okay, you know. But those things I like to try to say to myself, okay, I need to get those things done before I start doing the other things that kind of suck you in, and you know. So anyway, having that morning routine is helpful, and then an evening routine to wind down, to reflect, to plan ahead, to brain dump, you know, whatever is helpful for you that way. And another thing for structuring your life is journaling that they talked about. And at the beginning of your day routine, what are the top 3 things I want to accomplish today? So you can, and I kind of took this as, when she was teaching, this was not Becca Tinter, this was the other class that I went to, and I can't remember her name. Maybe Vicki can tell me if she remembers. It starts with SH, like Cherie or something, I don't know. Anyway, but the top 3 things, I think she was talking about, what are the top 3 things you want to do to touch your business that day? And so that's like organizing your business. But I thought also to myself, like, what are the top 3 things I want to accomplish in my day? Like, for example, yesterday I wanted to spend time on my business, teach my son how to do the butterfly stroke. We went swimming. To do that was important because he wants to try out for a swim team, and so I had to help him with that. So that was an important thing. And then the other, I can't remember, but like something else that like was important that I wanted to do, you know, in that day with that schedule. So and then within that, and I would encourage maybe within that, you know, touch my business. That should all, for me, like most often, except for sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays, you know, working on my business is one of those top 3. And so within that, you know, what are your top 3 things you want to accomplish for your business that day? And so then at your end of the day routine, you know, gratitude journaling, which I know you guys all know the benefit of that. Writing down, you know, what you're grateful for that day, and then asking yourself some questions. So, you know, this is a weekly journaling thing. Oops. Lila wants to say hi. So a weekly journaling thing would be every week to review your week and plan the next one. And there's some questions you can ask yourself in writing this down. What did I accomplish last week? What did I learn from this past week? What mistake helped me reach my goals? That's kind of a cool one that I hadn't thought of before. And then where will I adjust my behavior moving forward? So taking the time to once a week to contemplate that and to journal is something that's helpful. And one of the reasons why she was talking about how you have the 2 parts of your brain, the left and the right brain, one's creative, one's analytical. And when you're thinking and planning for your goals, to reach your goals, that's using your analytical brain. If you write it down with a pen and a paper, that is using your creative side of the brain. So then you have both parts of your brain, both sides of your brain working together to reach your goals. It activates even more centers of the brain to make that happen, which I thought was really cool. So that's one reason she recommended actually writing things down, not just typing something up or just thinking about it in your head, but really writing it down. So she had talked about the importance of journaling. So that could definitely be helpful. Another thing is just really to get your life in harmony. One quote that I loved that they said was structure creates habits, which create consistency, which creates automation, which creates brain space. And that hit me a ton. I don't know if any of you guys feel that brain fog like you're just so booked and so scheduled and feeling overwhelmed that your brain is just foggy. Like you can't even think clearly. You're just rushing from one thing to the next thing, and you kind of feel like a chicken with running around with its head cut off. So structure creates habits, which create consistency, which creates automation, which creates brain space and frees up your brain and clears that up. And that really was important to me because I could relate to that feeling of brain fog. And again, just like we help our clients to learn healthy habits, and it doesn't happen overnight, having your time management habits created is going to take some time also. So be patient and have some, give yourself some grace with that and take one thing at a time. Like I wrote all these notes down, and I've just been implementing like one thing at a time, little by little. I haven't tried to implement all the good ideas all at once because that would be too much. But, just take it slow and create more structure, which will create habits and consistency, and give yourself that clearness, that clarity in your brain. And one thing that was discussed was about investing. So part of investing in your business is and investing in creating that harmony in your life between family and work is to find out what others can do for you that you're already doing. So like delegating things, and Becca had talked about, like hiring out some things maybe that sure you could do it yourself, but you might be able to pay somebody to do it, and spend an hour with income producing, things that, are going to help your business grow and save that time for you to also have that quality time with your family. That's important. So if you're feeling like, laundry or sometimes maybe you're feeling like, okay, if I have little kids, maybe, and I'm kind of thinking of this in the summertime a little bit too, having, when they're out of school, having somebody come and babysit for like specific hours, in the week, like so that I can just focus on my business at that time, and the rest of the time of the day be like family time and that type of thing. But things like that where you might be able to, hire someone to help with the house cleaning or things like that. Recruit, help from your husband with driving kids around if that's an option, or different things. But anyway, so that was one thing that she had said. And she was thinking big with her business and go global. This was for EDs and above. And so it's really for people thinking big. And so she had said hiring an assistant, hiring an assistant to help with things. Your shopping, your looking up, the best, hotel for your next family vacation, or the best price for something, things that take our time that she was saying, has been super helpful in taking her business to the next level, because then instead of going grocery shopping with, crying kids, that isn't really quality time with your kids. She sent someone else to go grocery shopping, or grocery shop online and do the delivery pickup thing. Like there's other ways that you can find to shorten that process so that the time you are spending with your kids that day is going to be quality time. So anyway, that was just an example that she said, but also kind of pruning out your schedule, like just like you would with a tree. Are there dead branches that you just want to cut off completely? Are time wasters? Are there some things that are sick that need your attention? Are there some things that are good that you're like, okay, I can, maybe I can spend less time here because it's already, good to go. With these, she talked about choosing the best yes. We always want to say yes to so many things, especially if we're people pleasers or, just, I don't know, as moms wanting to be able to do it all. And we can't do it all. So there is no such thing as being able to do everything all at once. So choosing the best yes. So not overbooking yourself. and to feel okay with it, and to not need to have to give excuses, but just to say, no, thank you, that doesn't work with my schedule at this time. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't want to do it, or you don't want to, you know, if you're choosing, okay, do I want to volunteer at this thing and go to lunch with my friends and, you know, but I also have this interested call that's already scheduled, you know, kind of what's the best, yes, what are your priorities? You know, if one of your priorities is to grow your business, which a lot of people on this call are, you know, maybe choose that one. Choose the one about, you know, sticking with that interested call. You know, there are other times where that won't be the top priority, and you will have a different, you know, family emergency or situation or something that needs attention, to where, you know, you would choose, you know, that. But just kind of, when you see all of the different options, choosing the best thing you want to say yes to, because you know, even though you want to say yes to so many things. Also, looking at the things that you have on your like to-do list or whatever, and asking yourself, what can I do? What can I delegate? And what can I delete? And one thing too, like if there's something on your to-do list that you keep on pushing off, sometimes you might just need to delete it from your to-do list if it's not that important to you. And so anyway, kind of taking a look at that. Calendar blocks. We talked about using like Google Calendar and like blocking out specific time to do things in your day. Liz had taught me early on as a coach to do like power hours and blocking out an hour of time each day to work on my business. And, you know, putting that in the calendar, in the schedule. And then productivity, she talked about it being time, attention, and energy, meaning, you know, like the time that you have, the attention, like what do I focus on, being clear about that, and also your energy, like having self-care included in what you're scheduling your time for. So like that, she was saying busy doesn't equal productive. Having balance with your time, your attention, and your energy is being productive. And so it's important to remember those things. My last page here is specific to structuring our business and the tools that we can use for that. So time blocking daily and weekly coaching activities. So in your Google Calendar, or if there's another app that works better for you or calendar system that works better for you, already putting in there your client support day, your coach support times to do the 3, 3, and 3, something like maybe a follow-up Friday, and blocking specific times to be on social media to do, like, I'm going to check and post at this time around 8ish in the morning, you know, 3 in the afternoon, and, you know, 6 o'clock at night or something. I don't know what, I'm just making this up, but so you're not so you have specific time limits. And she said put timers on your phone when you're on Facebook. Say, I'm only allowed, I have this time blocked in my calendar to have this 20 minutes or this 30 minutes to do this activity, and then set that timer on your phone and be disciplined. That's what she said, discipline yourself. And so you also want to coach, you know, those weekly growth opportunities for your business. Like, well, the Saturday Zooms, the Tuesday 20s, this Thursday training, the Coach Monday webinars. I didn't put on there the Habits of Health webinars, but that would be there too. So there are those things that you can, you know, block out, find out what's important to you in the time that you have, and block that out. And then create small time blocks to check emails, because sometimes I'll check my emails and I'll be there for like ever. But just say, okay, I have this much time, you know, I have 1 hour to check emails and reply to emails. And this is the time. And set a timer on your phone so you don't go over that hour. However many you get to, you get to. And if it's something that, okay, I need to, you know, reply back, you reply back. if you get a new email, like while you're having that email, like just keep going down your list and that will wait till next time, kind of a thing. Like that's what she was saying she did. But just to really make sure that, you know, you're not spreading yourself too thin by doing too much past the allotted time, and making sure you're having allotted time and that you feel good about it at the end. You're like, hey, I did an hour. I did that. I got that completed for the day. And some tools too. So I love, Wunderlist, Cami, is that the thing that you had said, the app that you were using? Or what was that app that you, I don't know if she's still here. Is Cami still on?
I think it's Wunderlist.
Yeah, Wunderlist. So that was one that they had mentioned, and I still haven't checked that out, but now that Cami said it, it makes me want to check it out more. So also Google Calendar, having your binder, your map, and using that every day, having a tracking system of new people that you're meeting, and you know, and also within your binder having dividers of like, you know, clients, coaches, like new clients in their first month, other clients, you know, clients in maintenance, coaches. Like you can kind of divvy it out, divide it up so that you have a system, and you know, these things will just help you to be more efficient. I still need to work on a lot of that stuff. But specifically, one more thing I wanted to say about the family and the, like, starting with those rocks, you know, what's most important to you. So like, go ahead, I would encourage you to write down like 3 to 5 things that are the most important things to you that you want to, you know, spend time on each week. And like one of the things that I decided to spend quality time with my children is each week I have a date with one child, like just a one-on-one date with that child. So, you know, they're busy during the week with activities. I'm busy during the week with activities and work and different things. And, you know, but we have one date night a week, and that helps me to feel like I'm getting that quality time. So that's important to me, to have that date night to have that quality one-on-one time with my children. And so that's one thing that when you're blocking out your week and you're scheduling out your calendar for your week, you're like, hey, well, this time is blocked out, so I'm not scheduling anything else, because that's important to have my date night with my kids. It's important to have my date night with my husband. It's important to have my time allotted for, you know, work, different things with work. And so you kind of fill up your schedule with that first. And that's like putting those rocks in the jar first. And then you add in some other things that are pebbles that maybe aren't like, this is the most, you know, the super most important things, but they are still important. Then you can add those in to the openings. And then if there's any room for stands, there's room for stand. But one of those rocks is like you time too. I felt like for me, it was like personal development, my time, you know, like having so I'm not just running around like a crazy person, not having any downtime, you know. So that's important too, to make sure you're taking care of yourself. That can be your exercise time, it can be your meditation time, it can be, you know, reading a novel just for fun time. Like it can be something like that that is just rejuvenating to you, taking care of yourself also. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I had learned. We've got about 3 minutes left. Does anybody have specific questions pertaining to anything that I shared?
Can I share something? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying it's a lot to digest, I know. But go ahead, Vicki. Did you want to share?
Well, before, I was having some struggles because I would rather do this all day long. I mean, you know, I love this, and so I would love to do it all the time. And it's hard for the most important relationships in my life if I did it all the time, because I always feel like my attention is divided. But also, when I drop everything and every single time you know, I get a message on the phone or all of those things happen, they say that it makes your brain go up in one direction, but it takes like 20 minutes for you to refocus and be able to go ahead. I was doing this all the time. you know? And for some reason, I was having harder time just being able to concentrate on one thing and doing those time, you know, setting a time that I do it now 5 times a day where I'll give myself 10 minutes to be able to look at my phone, 10 minutes to, you know, to check on Facebook and those things. So I'm not doing it all the time. And it has really helped me be able to concentrate on what's important more strongly. So that was one of the things that was very helpful to me. And it's also let my family know that, and they were more supportive if I say, okay, I just need a quick, you know, I just need to go block this time. This is what I needed to do right now. And they were like, oh yeah, sure. But the rest of the time I let it be and let them be more important. And it has made a big difference in the relationships that have been important to me. So any questions, you guys? Any more questions?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great advice. Any other questions? We have like 1 minute or less. Sorry, if you have more questions, feel free to send me a message and ask. Or if there was any particular part that you wanted more info on. But thank you everybody for being on, and have a great week. We'll see you guys next week.
And bye, Lila.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Bunny.
Thanks, Alina.
Thank you.
Thank you. See
Take
ya.
care.